if we can make success imminent, and it's just a matter of deciding how many doors we are willing to knock on. Like, are we willing to let our knuckles bleed when nobody's answering, on the belief that all it takes is one door to open to completely change your life? It's like finding a life partner. All it takes is one. Finding a best friend, all it takes is one. And I think sometimes we want to rush when we want something, when we want that one thing, but it will work on its own time zone. And as long as you keep making the efforts, eventually something will hit.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. Happy New Year, Badass Manifester. I am so excited for 2021. I shared in an Instagram post that I am kissing 2020 goodbye. It was a great year for a lot of reasons, and it was a really tough year for a lot of reasons. I know that you guys know, if you listened to the last episode, that my father was in intensive care. He had COVID and he was on a ventilator, and sadly, unfortunately, he did pass away. It's been a week. It's been a really, really tough couple weeks. It's been a tough couple months. Having lost my grandfather and my father, but also having a lot of amazing things to look forward to, launching QCA and having it start up soon. It just fills my heart with purpose. And I know that that's what my family would want me to be doing. So I'm going to share an episode on loss and grieving and manifestation and how it all works together, because I think that this is such a huge part of life. We're all going to experience it at some point or another, and it's not easy, and we're never prepared for it. And so maybe what I share will shed some light to, not to prepare you for anything, but just to help you through anything, really, anything that you're grieving, whether you actually lost someone or maybe a relationship ended and all that stuff. But I just want to say I'm blown away by the love and support. Honestly, it's been blowing me away. I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. And I think my whole family is ready for a better year ahead. So definitely optimistic for what's to come. I'm excited for a fresh start. I think we can all agree on that. And I'm also really excited because I had an announcement. We've had this beautiful announcement planned for the new year. And obviously, having this loss has kind of derailed me, but I'm still committed to sharing it with you guys because it's for you. It's all for you. And that is the self-improvement bundle. Okay? I've teamed up with a company called The Bundle Co. And their business model is pretty genius. And basically what they did is they've compiled 75 individual courses from some of the top course creators in the industry, some of the top coaches in the industry. And they've put them all together. It's actually 75 courses. If you bought them all individually, it would be about $13,000. It would be more than that. It would be over $13,000. And we're compiling them for you for the new year and the self-improvement bundle for $75. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. It's crazy amazing. So many people have bought the bundle already. It's only available for this week till Friday. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about it because it's absolutely incredible. And the link will be in the show notes for you or on my social media, on my Instagram. The link is in my bio. So a little bit about the bundle. There are manifestation courses, okay? So my Manifest Your Magic bundle course is in there. which breaks down helping you find your purpose, helping you break through limiting beliefs. So it's the pillars are purpose, limiting beliefs, intuition, manifestation, money manifestation, and magic, how to tap into your magic. Also, Samantha, who I interviewed on the podcast like a few weeks ago, who is the creator of the manuscripting method, she shares her method in there. Her manuscripting method is her manifestation manuscripting method is in here as well. I mean, there's 75 courses. It's crazy. There's a course called Soul Activated Method, which I'm diving into right now. And it's all about like really honing your Kundalini breath and helping you manifest through your breath. It's freaking amazing. There's a course by Alyssa Nobriga, who's like so well known. It's her Money Mindset and Miracles course. I'm diving into that next. And then my friend Ava Johanna, if you know her Unapologetically Rich, Confident, and Unlimited course, she sold that for $333. My Manifest Your Magic bundle was $222. Alyssa's course alone was I think it was $297. I mean, it's crazy. Like all of these courses alone, I'm telling you, are over $13,000. And I feel so passionate about this because this is what I teach and this is what I live by, is self-improvement, like being able to grow yourself. And the courses in here, there's courses by Yes Supply. I mean, it's unbelievable everything that's in here. Lorna Liz Love has a course in here, Millionaire Mindset. I mean, you're getting so much. And so some of the questions that I've received about this bundle is, how long do I have access to it for? It's all on the sales page, but basically you have 365 days to get access to all these courses. So you have a code that puts the price to $0 once you enroll. And then you have them for life. You have the code, you have these courses indefinitely. So I have my course. I had to buy it myself. Like I'm like $75 for all these courses it's a no-brainer. It's honestly a no-brainer. So get yourself the self-improvement bundle. The link is in my bio. A couple of the other questions I received. Who is this bundle for? It's really for everyone who wants to improve themselves. Everyone who wants to up-level their mindset, their manifesting, their money, their business, their everything. Like this, their eating. I mean, even fertility stuff is in there. That's why I was really drawn to that course too. There's just so much in here for every area of life to really up level for 2021. And I think that it couldn't be a more perfect bundle for them to have put together for the state of the world right now. And this is what will change the world, is if we all improve ourselves in every way possible. So that was a question. Who is it built for? Another question I had was, do we have access to the courses before the cutoff date? And once you buy the bundle, you, like I said, you'll have 365 days to enroll into each course and create your own course logins. Very, very easy. When you're done with that, you'll be able to access all these courses indefinitely. And once you've signed up for each of the courses, your username and password won't expire. So you'll just be able to, on demand, take your time. They're all on-demand courses. You can access them and take your time with it because there's a lot. And access them whenever you want. And just, maybe you're feeling like you want to do money one week. Maybe you're feeling like you want to do manifestation another. Maybe you're feeling like you want to learn about your health and how to detox. Like there's just so much that you can get from here. Another question that I had was, are they all individual programs? Yes, there's 75 individual on-demand programs. So I hope that helps. Someone else said, that's a crazy discount. How is this even possible? Is there a deadline to purchase? The deadline is Friday. So there's 7 days left to purchase. Definitely purchase it. It's obviously a no-brainer. And how is it even possible? It's usually not possible. The only way it's possible is because we've all come together, because it's a win-win for everyone. It's a win-win for these creators to get their courses out there to more people. It's a win-win for the Bundle Co. who doesn't have to create a course. They could just use all of our courses. It's a win-win for you because you get to experience all of these amazing coaches. Maybe you want to hire a coach and you don't know who to hire. This is going to give you 75 different coaches to look into to see who is your perfect dream coach. It's just a win-win all the way around. So that's enough about that. I can't wait to see you in there. It's going to be amazing. Tag me once you're in. I'll reshare it. And I can't wait for you guys to listen to this episode. We have Ashley Stahl, who is absolutely incredible. She is going to introduce herself in a minute, but I'll just give her a little intro where she was an American national security professional and she turned entrepreneur, podcaster, speaker, and she's most known for being a career coach and author. So she coaches women on how to find their purpose and master the job hunt. I literally wish I met her years ago when I was like lost, but hey, it all happens the way it's supposed to. She's a TEDx speaker. She is an author. I have her book. I mean, she's incredible and I absolutely loved this conversation and I know that you will too. So enjoy today's episode. Happy New Year. I can't wait for you to get your bundle and I'm excited for 2021. I love you guys so, so much. Welcome to the show, Ashley
Thank
Stahl.
you for having me.
I'm so excited that you're here. You're so awesome.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to just like dive into this conversation. So, just so we can bring our listeners up to speed on all that you are and how accomplished you are, and the books that you've written, and the speaking that you've done, and the stages that you've stood on, and the people that you've worked with, how did you become who you are today?
One of the biggest, I think, mistakes that I see people making in their career is not being experimental enough, not holding it lightly.
Mm,
And I think I became who I am because I'm somebody who is constantly tuning in to what's interesting to me. And I'm not making it bad or wrong if I want to, quote unquote, deviate off course and try something on new. I truly see my career as an experiment that meets me where I am. And I think that was really the premise of the U-Turn book was your career is an experiment that meets you where you are. And clarity comes from engagement. It's not going to come from thinking. You can't always think your way there. You need to try and do something. And so for me, I remember at Pixar, I went to Pixar Studios and I saw a picture on the wall and it said fail faster. And I totally love that because I think a lot of people spend so much time deciding if they want to put themselves in a position where they might fail that it's like by the time they're done thinking about it, they could have tried 15 things by the end of it.
yes.
And so for me, like I started my career in my 20s in counterterrorism and national security because I was one of those millennials who really remember that moment of 9/11 and had family on the East Coast. And that put me into a career in counterterrorism for a while. But on the periphery of that, I noticed that I loved helping people in their job hunt. I loved job hunting, which is so weird. Nobody loves job hunting. I know. I feel like I do have some people in online courses that start to get excited about it because now that they have a system in place, they're excited that
Yeah.
things are happening. But um, for me, paying attention to what feels really inspiring or what's nudging me on the periphery of anything I'm doing, it keeps serving me. So I think anybody who's listening now, if they forget everything we talk about, I would just hope that they would leave and remember to hold their career more lightly and be more experimental.
Yeah, I love that so much. And it resonates with me because now that I am reflecting, it's like, oh, yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah,
But didn't have that awareness, like knew things that lit me up, but didn't think like, oh, this is my purpose or this is my calling.
exactly.
And I think that, your book, U Turn, it's so powerful and so relevant right now, especially just because I think with the pandemic and COVID and all the things, people are really finally having that pause to say, what am I here for? What do I
Yeah.
really want to do?
Yeah.
And I
There's
think
nothing like a bunch of time sitting in your home to make you reflect on whether you actually like your job or not, or your business.
100%. Yeah. And I've heard that like people are, or their partner, or their like all the things, right? And people who have lost their jobs. So what do you say to those people that are still feeling stuck in the not knowing?
Mhm.
What do I do? How do I know if this direction is right for me or that direction is right for me? I think you said it before, but can you just elaborate on like it happens through the action that you take? I think that's what you said. I think that I read
Yeah.
that in your book somewhere too.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds me of my grandma. She used to always say to me, like, if you knock on thousands of doors, like one's going to open. And it's funny, Byron Katie, the author, also
Yeah.
says something to that extent. And so I've always remembered that. I'm like, if we can make success imminent And it's just a matter of deciding how many doors we are willing to knock on. Like, are we willing to let our knuckles like bleed when nobody's answering, on the belief that all it takes is one door to open to completely change your life? It's like finding a life partner. All it takes is one. Finding a best friend, all it takes is one. And I think sometimes we want to rush when we want something, when we want that one thing, but it will work on its own time zone. And as long as you keep making the efforts,
Yeah.
eventually something will hit.
I mean, of course, I'm like also listening to that through the lens of my fertility journey, which
Yeah.
the audience knows a little bit about, but it's true. It's like, keep going, because it only takes that one more time
Yep.
to be the
That
one,
one sperm to
that
just like
one sperm and that
float
one
on in.
good egg.
Yeah,
I know,
exactly.
right? It's crazy. It's crazy. It's amazing. So cool. So I have a lot of questions for you. I have questions about like helping people find their U-turn and discovering their direction. And I know that you have some points on that are like
Yeah.
really, really helpful. If you could share those, that would be amazing. And then like other questions about people that are interested in writing books and how you do it and where you got the inspiration, all the things. So we'll
Yeah.
just kind of start. I know I just threw a lot on you.
No, no, I love it. Throw it all. I love talking about this stuff, and I've been talking about it for 10 years. So this book is really a culmination of a decade of online courses and a private practice and my podcasts, so many things that have come to me being able to distill my information that I share in the U-turn book. And what I love about it is that I think we're in a world that is so exciting. There's so much information online and kind of overwhelming. And there's also a lot of like trash, for lack of a better term, that we have to sift through to find good information. And so for me, I'm most proud of the fact that the whole book is original. It's my own voice, it's my own thoughts, and it's what I'm seeing working for people in my own practice. And so the biggest game changer, I would say, is number one, just knowing mistakes that you're making. Like, we grew up being told to follow our passion. And I think that that gets us very lost, because there's a big difference between happily consuming something. Like, I love cupcakes. I will happily consume them. I just found out that I have a gluten intolerance. So that's kind of a buzzkill, but love cupcakes, consume them all the time, but I'm not a good producer of them. I'm not like a great baker. And so I think that's what we do in our career. We think like we love film, so we might as well go be a film creator. We love friends, so we might as well be like a business development person that makes it all about connecting with people. It's like sometimes we misinterpret our joy for consumption for a knack with production. And I would say
That
your
is so
passion.
powerful. Wow. That's so true.
Yeah, thank you. And I honestly see it all the time. And I think that's just misguided because we weren't given the tools as kids to make sense of the 5 career paths we were told of, like a veterinarian, a lawyer, a company creator. Like, what are these, you know?
Wait, it's so funny you just said that. When I was in preschool, I have this vivid memory of going through a coloring book of like professions. And they're like, what do you want to be when you grow up in preschool? Okay. And what did I pick? I picked princess. There was princess in the book. I'm like,
That's
so
so
glad I
funny.
picked that.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, that's the thing.
Lawyer. Like, no, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what these things are. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so funny because as much as we're misdirected as kids, we're also spot on. Like, what we're told is very misdirected. What we're told by adults who are jaded, who have had their own hits in life, will come to us and be like, be an astronaut, be a firefighter. But when I walked on stage at my preschool graduation, and this is the introduction of the book, the principal made us all say what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I said, I want to be a writer and a mother. And then what did I do? For 30 years, I went off course. I worked in counterterrorism. I, did this, I did that. And then here I am with the book that I was always meant to write. And so I think going back to who we were as kids and getting curious about where we naturally were pulled towards is so helpful. But I also think noticing, like, just because you're interested in something doesn't mean it's meant for a career path. And that's a very special type of interest. And that's why I think the most powerful thing I talk about in the book, and there's so many things, but is your core skill set. So, chapter 1, I talk about your core nature, which I believe is your energy, like the adjectives people would use to describe how you feel when you walk into a room. And I think that matters a lot. Like, a lot of people are in career paths that don't align with their core nature. Maybe they're a very humorous person and they're in a very serious job. It's like That's
Yeah.
not going to match their core nature, their essence. But the second chapter is about your core skill set. And I list 10 core skill sets that I think really move the needle. And I firmly believe that everybody falls under one of these. And as I list the 10, if we get into them, some people will be like, yeah, but I'm also this one. I'm also this one. Yes, you might relate to 2 or 3 or even 4 of them. And they might interplay for sure. But it's most important to know which one do you lead with, because that one is going to point to the 80% of responsibilities, tasks, that how
Mhm.
you're harnessing your energy throughout the day.
Oh my God, I want to hear what they are.
Yeah. So I feel like your listeners are probably like my podcast listeners, where they're note takers. So
Yeah,
if
take out
they've
your
got their yeah, get your notepad.
pull
So
over.
pull over the car.
Pull over
So
the car.
number one is innovation.
Mm.
So that is the intrapreneur, that's the entrepreneur. This is the creative self-starter that can either manage their own book of business under the umbrella of a company, or they're the creative that's second in command or growing in the ranks very quickly in a company. It's not just that they have ideas, they are visionary and they are resourceful. And then number two is the builder. So this one is quite literal, and also it could be more concrete. So, it's the mechanic, the construction worker. It's also the web designer. It's the person that is putting pieces together energetically. And then number three, which this one might be yours, Ash, because I feel like it's mine and we're both podcast people. So, is words. So the words core skill set, I think this one's a really interesting one because it brings the question forward for me, for anybody listening, of are you an introvert or are you an extrovert? And I've seen the research on being an ambivert, but I do think people lead with getting their energy from one or the other.
Yeah.
So if you're a words person, you're number three, and you're an extrovert, you're going to be more of a speaker. You're going to have external energy going out with words. If you're more like me, I'm a little more introverted. That's why like podcasting is such an edge for me. Like I really enjoy it, but it's not like a lot of video usually. But as
Mhm.
soon as you put a video camera on me, like you'll see me go into like fight or flight, and I'm good on camera. Like I'm a spokesperson, but inside, even though I look so polished on the outside, it's like terror inside of my body.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm an introvert. And so I thrive in my core skill set of words through writing, and anybody who reads this book is going to get that information and see like, oh, this is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
feel like I'm the extroverted aspect of that.
really, so you
Yeah.
like to speak on stages and stuff like that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that it's funny, like I can do it, like you said, you saw my speaking reel, but um I just get depleted, I think, by the end of being on a stage.
Hold up while I sip my Organifi green juice real quick. Yes, Todd and I have been drinking our juice. We've been good boys and girls. And I want to remind you to drink your juice. If you have not yet had your juice today, or you haven't yet ordered your Organifi greens, what you waiting for? They are so good, so delicious. If you are ready to reset, return the body to homeostasis, if you're ready to reduce your cravings, if you're ready for micronutrients to help you infuse more superfoods for your body to feel more energized, more vital, and let's be real, just better about yourself because you're drinking something green in the morning, Organifi green juice is for you. If you're not into green juice, I do highly recommend just trying it. But they also have other juices, some that are more sweet. They really do have you covered from sunrise to sunset. They have a juice for morning, noon, and night. And if you want 15% off, I got you covered, boo. Just go to my link, www.organifi.com/manifest with Ash, MANIFESTWITHASH. I gotta spell it out because it's a podcast. Just go to Manifest with Ash and you'll get 15% off. You'll feel amazing. You're going to feel like you're improving your total well-being, and I think you're going to love the taste. So if you're ready for some moringa, some chlorella, some spirulina, some beetroot, some matcha green tea, some wheatgrass, some ashwagandha, turmeric, lemon juice, coconut water, it's all in there and it's all waiting for you. So go right now. I can't wait. And let me know how you love it.
So you prefer to be on stage? Is that like where you come alive?
I think so.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, I can do it because words are my core skill set, but I'm
Right.
overriding a very introverted part of me to do it. And I can only push the river for so long until I'll crash, you
I
know?
love that word overriding. Like you can override parts of yourself. That's so interesting.
Yeah. I guess it's because I used to work in the government, like veto, like,
Yeah.
but, and then the fourth skill set is motion, which is an interesting one because I see that as like the fitness trainers, the masseuses, the tour guides. It's people who are on their feet all day and they thrive at being that way. They thrive in logistics and going and being. It doesn't necessarily mean that they're an operations person. It just means that they thrive on their feet. That's a skill. Not a lot of people can be on their feet all day. And then
Huge.
yeah, huge. And then number 5 is service. And I really love the service one because it brings forth the question for me of, is your core skill set truly your core skill set, or is it coming from a wounded place? Like there's a lot of people pleasers who are going to tell me that service is their core skill set, when in actuality, people pleasing is just a coping mechanism they've learned from their upbringing and they think it's their core skill set. And so any of these ones you choose, you want to ask yourself, is this coming from like a coping mechanism, from like my upbringing, any wounding, or is this truly my skill? Is it how I learned to be or who I am?
Mm.
So,
Wow. That's so key. So key. Okay.
yeah. Yeah, and then number 6 is coordinating. So after you're done, and I talked about the service professionals, the humanitarians, the nurses, the supporters. Number 6 is coordinators. Like I'm sure you're like me, where it's like, God bless these people. They run our companies.
I wish that I had more of that in me.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's so, I mean, I remember when I worked at the Pentagon, they gave me some tasks that had to like force me into the coordination skill set. And it would be the most obvious thing showing that I dropped the ball, like a water, like we ran out of water bottles, like, oh, forgot to order them, like details, coordination, logistics. Like I would order them and they'd be in the wrong part of the building, for the meeting. Like I just wasn't ever going to be this skill set. And then number 7 is analysis, which was another core skill set that I resided in counterterrorism. So if you're not a coordinator, operations project manager, there's the analysis people who are academics who commit their life to the question of why. They
Mm,
research, they're economists. And then there's number 8, which is numbers, our number crunchers, our investment bankers, our accountants. And then number 9 are technology people, our artificial intelligence innovators. And then number 10, I love number 10, is the beauty skill set. This
mm,
is like the makeup artists, the interior designers. It's just people who make art around them. I would love to say that that's my number 2, but it probably isn't.
yeah.
And I think when you know these skills, it's like, okay, which one do you reside in? And if you don't know what your skill set is, you can ask somebody in your life, like, when have you seen me at my best?
Ashley, these are amazing.
Thank
Like
you.
they're really incredible. I wish that I knew this years ago. Like I'm still learning these things about myself. Like I'm discovering, oh yeah, not great at that, like not good at
Yeah.
that. But if I had a book that I could read that just was like black and white, I would be able to identify with that. And like, yeah, that makes sense. That's so awesome.
Yeah, thank you. It's funny, like I think people, it's so nebulous when somebody says, I don't like my business right now, or I don't like my job right now. And for me, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's that I've coached so many people, be it in person or online. It's like, for me, it's always been clear. I'm like, the workforce is a matchmaking game. There's these skill sets, and these are the jobs that tie to those skill sets. So are you introverted or extroverted? How do you want to express yourself in your job? Okay, narrow down the list. And another thing that narrows it down is kind of what I was getting at, is asking other people. Like if you ask your parents and your best friends and a couple of colleagues, like, when have you seen me at my best? You'll collect information on like what you're doing that they see you being a genius at.
Right.
And it's like, what skill set is that? Which of these 10 does that fall
Right.
under?
Like if someone says to you, when you're hosting holiday dinner and you're doing 1,000 things at one time and you're making sure that everybody's happy, like that's a skill set.
Exactly. Exactly. And there's such a magic to that. There's such a magic to that. And people don't give themselves permission to really own. And I think it's because your core skill set, sometimes it's so obvious to you, you don't notice it.
I was just gonna say sometimes we're just so good at certain things that it's not special to us.
Exactly.
But when
100%.
you have a skill that somebody else doesn't have, that's extremely valuable to them.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, like I can't help but be proud of anybody if they leave a job they don't like because they're in a skill set that doesn't work for them. No wonder you're tired. You're working in a zone that isn't your skill. I would say it's ideal for somebody to have at least 70% of their day aligned with their core skill set. And the other percent could be a zone of growth for them. It's maybe the things that, your core skill sets usually the things that you're good at and you like, because according to research, we like what we're good at, like it feels good. But then there's the not good at and like your zone of growth, like the things you want to develop. And I think 15, 20% of your business or your job should be challenging you to grow in that zone.
Mhm.
But the things you're not good at and don't like, I think too many people have too much of their day in that little quadrant, if I were to draw it on a piece of paper. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're not in the right job for
Right,
you. And
you're a puzzle piece that doesn't fit in that puzzle.
yeah, and that's to be celebrated. It's not like you have no
Right.
skills. You're not skillless. You just are working in the wrong skill set.
Mm. Yeah, it's like I have amazing people on my team, and sometimes they're just in the wrong seat.
Yeah,
You move
100%.
them around
Yeah,
so
and
that
there's
they
a
fit
really cool
your
field of
zone.
work called job crafting, which tells people to like turn their job into the job they want. So if you don't like your job and you don't want to leave it, it's like, can you think of a project that aligns with your core skill set that is high value to the company that your boss would be receptive to? And can you take initiative to do that after hours or even just on the side within your hours? That
Mm,
is a way for you to turn your resume or turn your career or turn your business into something you actually want.
I love that so much. There's a lot of first of all, I wish that I knew you like 10 years ago. I could have really benefited from working with you.
Oh,
Um, but I think there's a lot of people that are listening that are definitely in this position where they're like, I'm not happy with what I'm doing and I want to figure out what that is. And there's also a lot of people, believe it or not, I have a coaching certification. So there's a lot of people that watch me and listen to me and they're like, I think I want to be a life coach too, or I want to be a coach, or, and they're like, should I make that leap? How can you help them? Is there any questions that they should ask themselves to know if that's the direction that they want to go in? Or do you say it's a feeling you just know?
well, I think first of all, if you're tired, like if you're not in the right career path for you. People know. And I think we know what we know, and we spend all day trying not to know it because it's inconvenient. Knowing something sometimes will unravel your life and make you start over. And it's a short-term pain, and a lot of people don't want
Feel
to look.
that, y'all. Feel
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So true. It's so true.
Yeah. And so I think first is like really just checking in, like are you just talking about something to avoid what you already know, like are you shopping for opinions when you already know you're but and I think doing that research, like asking people even about your core nature, for your core skill set you can ask how does how when have you seen me at my best. But for your core nature, like your energy, I would ask people, how does the room change when I walk in? Like, what am
Mhm.
I bringing? How do I feel? And if you know that you bring humor, like people tell me, or depth, it's like, okay, that's the foundation for my career. And then on top of that is my skill set. Okay, what are some job titles that work with that? What are some business models that work with that if I want to take the entrepreneurial route? And then
Mm.
it's like start eliminating ones that don't allow you to be in your core nature. You already got your core skill set covered. And I think from there, it's really getting clear on what your core values are. One mistake I think people make is they pick values that are aspirational, like they pick things that they want to be, but not things that they are. And it misguides them from being able to really use their values to make decisions. So pick words that without that word, you don't exist anymore. That's how you know it's a core value. And
Yeah. Mm.
no, I'm curious what yours are. Like, what are a few of your core values, Ash?
I have a list. Off the top of my head, it's like connection is huge for me.
Yeah.
Are we talking about like me personally or like
Yeah.
for my business?
Well, I feel like you personally trickles into your business,
It does, for sure, for sure. I would say connection is huge. Listening, um, abundance. Um, what else? I know I'm missing some right now. Give me some
Yeah,
ideas.
no, these are,
Your
no,
book.
honestly,
You guys, there's a whole list of core values in this book,
I
but
know there is.
I'm pulling
I
them up.
I love that you read it. I honestly, I would say you know more than most people would, like just getting clear on your top five. I think those are also a filter. And there's two
Hard though. It's
dynamics.
hard to narrow it down to five too.
Exactly. And I think you can have
Growth and
conversations.
expansion. Sorry, they're
Oh,
thinking.
no, no, no. I think No, I think it helps to like talk to people that you know about it. Like, hey, I'm thinking about these words. Like, talk to your best friends, and they'll be like, you're not really that word. You don't, like, I had a lawyer client who was like, peace is a core value. I'm like, you're arguing all day and you like it. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's two dynamics in your career. There's the what of what you're doing. That's your responsibilities, your job title, your business model, whatever have you. And that's how you harness your energy throughout the day. But then there's the how of how you're doing it. That's the backdrop of your day. That's your corporate culture. That's the people you work with. That's the vibe. And I think your core values really point to the how and what's not negotiable for you. And so those are also a good filtering system where if you have a huge list of possibilities for yourself, it's like, working at a big law firm, if you're a lawyer and you value family, let's say family is a core value. It's like, okay, you might want to work at a small law firm if family is a core value. It's going to violate. And that's the thing is the two things that make people the most tired in their career is either they're overriding their core skill set and doing something else, working out of a different zone, or they're violating a core value. Maybe they value integrity and their job is making them sell something they don't believe in. So these two things of core skill set not being honored and core values being violated, I think
Why
are two.
people feel so depleted in their work.
Exactly.
This is amazing right now. This is so good. I'm loving this. And I know you guys are loving it too. Like this is also just side note, this is what it looks like to be an expert at your field, y'all.
Thank you. That
Yeah.
means a lot. I feel like somebody was saying like it takes, 10 years to be an expert or some like rule. And I don't like rules, because I'm like, you can crush it in 10 months or
Sure.
less.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said, I think, of process. There's such a dignity to process.
Yeah.
And I think after coaching so many people, it's like, how can I not start to see the patterns?
Yeah. And create new processes
Exactly.
and methods to help people from what you have listened to and connected dots with. It's amazing.
Thank
It's so
you.
good. Yeah. What are your core values?
I value freedom. And it's everywhere. Like you're gonna see. So before I found my partner William, who I live with now, and we'll probably get married and do the whole deal. Um, I was living in Paris half the time because I'm part French and I'm bilingual.
Awesome.
And I it was part of my freedom. And there were times where living in LA, I would be at a coffee with a friend. I'd have my backpack with my laptop and my wallet in it and my passport or whatever. And I would think to myself, like, okay, my door's locked at my place. I think I want to like go to the airport. I think I want to go back to Paris because I had a room with stuff in it there.
That's
And I didn't have
amazing.
to pack anything. And that was such a part of my freedom. And it's funny, like my partner's family, when they plan a trip, they plan it like 10 months in advance. And it's like against my freedom is like, I don't know if I'm going to want to do that in 10 months.
Right.
So it's funny that really has guided the way I structure my life is the optimal freedom. I value creativity. That's like a huge value for me. Like I need creativity. I think eventually I'll create like a poetry collection or something.
Do
Um,
it. Yes.
yeah, I've always seen myself doing that. Like one day as a mother or something. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. I just there's so many creative projects that are inside of me, self-expression, like and connection like you, I value that as well. And so a lot of my friends who are entrepreneurs, I think in the entrepreneurial space, there's a story that in order to make a lot of money, you need to want to make an impact. Like
Mhm.
there's and I mean, impact's cool, like I respect it, but I don't feel any more fulfilled if like thousands of people think I'm amazing. I
Mhm.
just feel fulfilled if I can connect, like, can somebody get it? Can somebody get me? Can somebody see me or I see them? And so I write from a place of connection. I don't write from a place of like, I'm going to make an impact.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like you're similar in that way. We're so similar. Two ashes with podcasts who are just
Yes.
manifesting away.
Yes, we are. We are. That's beautiful. It reminds me of, I don't know if you've ever heard of Baron Baptiste.
I feel like that sounds so familiar.
He is a yoga teacher, and he has a yoga method, and it's called Baptiste Yoga. And he has like these principles, and one of them is when you teach yoga is to come from we are connected. So it's like that was really ingrained in me, and like everything that I do is like come from we are connected. Come from we are connected, like right from we are connected. It's really cool that you said that. I love that.
Yeah, it is, and it's fun to hear methods that are kind of built on that too. And
Yeah, totally.
it's like your career is such a mirror, for where you have work to do on yourself. It's such a vehicle for your own personal development, just like so many things are. And I would say anybody who's listening right now, like kind of going back to like they already know if it's not working. And so you either get to kick and scream and rip the Band-Aid next year and cry all year, or you get to rip the Band-Aid tomorrow and listen to yourself. And it doesn't mean you have to burn the bridges behind you and leave your job, but it does mean you need to take action in some way towards the next step.
Do you ever find that, this is kind of a controversial question, but that people are almost addicted to feeling like they hate their job, or like that they like that story?
Yeah, totally. I think a lot of people are committed to their limitations, and they argue for them. And it's like, it feels vulnerable to believe that something better is possible and to let yourself feel how good that could feel. Yeah. And I think we're conditioned to just not feel good, or not allow ourselves to feel good or feel happy, or not let things be easy. But when I feel like you, from a manifestation standpoint, it's like you would probably ask your clients, like, what does easy feel like? What are some things you'd be doing in easy? And then the ideas that come from that state are so magical that it's like just choosing to even ask those questions
shifts the energy.
Yeah, exactly.
So good. I love this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. You have such good energy.
Back. I feel like there's more that we could jam out about.
Yeah, for sure. And you're going to have to come on my show too.
Cool. I'm so excited. Well, everyone, we're going to put the link to the book in the show notes. It's called U-Turn. I don't really use video, but I'm holding the book up. Yeah. It's really good. And I highly recommend you guys go order it right now on Amazon, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. And through January and February, we're giving away a bunch of courses when you order the book at youturnbook.com. So it's YOUTURN book.com.
Awesome. Yeah. If you guys are feeling stuck in your career, or you want to be re-inspired in your career, just go get it. It's good for anybody, really. It's just, I learned a lot just by listening to these principles that you were speaking of. So thank you so much. And where can they find you and connect with you on social?
I'm on the gram. It's just my name, Ashley Stahl. I would love for you guys to let me know, what did you take away from the episode? I'll share you on my story. I'm so grateful to always hear and connect. I know I love connection. So
now we know. And yeah, tag us for sure and let us know what your biggest takeaway is, because we do love to hear it. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fan. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.